So recently I've been binge watching all these Iceberg videos about things I enjoy, so I went on YouTube and searched for one about Apex Legends, and I couldn't find one. I tried searching for one too on Google, and I found some, but they were terrible. So I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna make my own. And so I did. If you don't know for some reason, Apex Legends is a free-to-play character-based battle royale shooter that's very fun, and I'm addicted to it for some reason. If you don't know what an iceberg image is, you've probably come out from hiding for several months, and to that I say welcome back. An iceberg image is basically a picture that divides knowledge of a certain topic into different layers. The things at the top are the things that most people probably know, and the further down you go, the more weird and obscure the facts are. Also, little disclaimer, this video is gonna have some spoilers for information revealed in the book Pathfinder's Quest, so if that happens on a fact, I'll flash a little spoiler warning during the transition. Anyway, I'm gonna explain everything here, so let's get into the video. Alright, so we're just gonna start with the tip of the iceberg, and this is basically stuff that pretty much everybody knows about, or most people know about. Apex Predators and Blisk. The Apex Predators are a mercenary group from Titanfall led by former IMC officer Kublin Blisk. They have no regard for personal ethics and instead work for whoever pays them the most. Blisk is the head of the organization, as I previously said, and he's the commissioner of the Apex games, which is what you compete in when you play Apex Legends. Blisk is also speculated to be a future legend, and he has some leaked abilities. Heirlooms. Heirlooms are these melee skins that you're able to get. With the heirloom, you're able to run with a weapon outside your hands. They have special animations as well. You have a 1 in 500 chance of getting an heirloom from an Apex pack, and on your 500th pack, you're guaranteed to get one. I've opened at least 300 packs, and I still have an heirloom, while my level 60-something sister has one. Come on, Apex. Why do you like this, dude? Forge. Forge was the legend teased in Season 4 who was supposed to be in the game, but he got killed by a Revenant who was the actual Season 4 legend. Despite his death, there were still many teasers for his character, as well as a bit of lore to hype everyone up. There were abilities in the game files for him as well to fool data miners. Respawn did a very good job at masking the new legend's true identity. Firing range secrets. This is just the secrets in the firing range, being able to go third person, making the training nutties move, very small dogs around the firing range that could be found, and all the Nessies that you're able to find. For just being a firing range, there are a lot of secrets. Revenant used to be human. Revenant used to be a human before he became a simulacrum. His consciousness was uploaded into a robotic body, which was a 20-year-long process. After this, his creators were free to use him to kill any of their rivals as they wanted. However, Revenant didn't know for a long time that he was a simulacrum, and he saw himself as a human, and his memory was altered after all of his deaths. After he killed Lobo's parents, though, he saw his true self. Rampart glitch. In Season 7, you could put Rampart's turret on top of Crypto's drone, then Crypto could pilot you around, and you could become an AC-130 from Modern Warfare 2. However, the bug was patched out after a short while of it being in the game. Multiple Wraiths. Wraith's passive ability is actually other versions of herself, telling her to look out for people, traps, etc. She could hear versions of herself from parallel universes, which are all connected by the Void, which she warps to using her portal and tactical ability. I know this was one of the first theories that arose when Apex came out, and it was confirmed in her cinematic that she was able to communicate with other Wraiths. The Voidwalker Wraith skin is actually a Wraith from a different universe that came to help our universe's Wraith, who we play as in-game. She also gave our Wraith her kunai knife, which is now her heirloom. Caustic Backlash. For this, I was mainly going to talk about in the Fight Night patch of Season 7, Caustic was meant to receive a buff to his traps that would give them a lesser cooldown. So this was followed by massive backlash on Twitter, especially towards Respawn. However, they decided to give Horizon a nerf instead and kept Caustic the same. However, Caustic continues to be the primary source of pain for Apex players to this day, and he's still a source of major backlash, with Respawn saying that nerfs are to come for him soon.
And nerf Caustic! Get that little dick energy shit out of here! Ability legends, baby!
Olympus teased in Season 5. In Season 5, the last hunt in the Broken Ghost questline was to place Ash's head on her body, after you found all the pieces on King's Canyon and reconstruct it. After you put her head on her body, she says Ash to Ashes several times before ending it with, "The path ends here. Welcome to Olympus." PK one-handed animation. If you're on a zipline or stimming as Octane or you have your smoke launcher out as Bangalore, you're able to rechamber the Peacekeeper shotgun by spinning it. I just think that's pretty cool. Well, from here on out, we're finished with the tip of the iceberg, so let's go deeper into the shallow waters. Alright, now we're on to the shallow waters. This is stuff, decent amount of people know about it, but you might not. L-Star used to be a care package gun. The L-Star was a care package gun when it first came out, albeit way more overpowered than it is now. It also used a digi-thread optic, which you can't put on the L-Star anymore. It reloaded through a magazine at the bottom of the gun, as well as the overheat mechanic. Disruptor rounds. Disruptor rounds were a hop-up in the game that dealt increased damage to shields. These were basically the shielded equivalent of hammer point rounds. Instead of doing extra damage to health, they did extra damage to shields. These were removed in Season 4 because they were way too overpowered. Therefore, the alternator RE45. It makes sense that hammer points would still be in the game because, well, the guns that use hammer point rounds aren't automatic, and they're already pretty bad on their own. Secret G7 reload animation. The G7 has a secret animation where the magazine pops out of the top of the gun. This reload is really rare, and it can only be triggered via an auto reload as well, which means you have to shoot all the bullets out of your gun, making it even harder to get. I'm pretty sure it's the only secret reload animation in the game as of now. Octane's face. In Pathfinder's Quest, Octane's full face is finally revealed. He says he takes the mask off sometimes because he has to let it breathe. Just look at this guy. He looks like he's stoned off of his ass. Like, here he is, here's Octane, look at him. Pathfinder's odd jobs. When Pathfinder woke up from his long nap, he needed to get a job. The robot took up a series of jobs such as a farmer, a marketing agent, a fuel attendant, a line cook, and also even a coat rack, which he got fired for moving. Mirage's sexuality. In the Season 6 comic for Apex, when Mirage is talking to Rampart about not liking how Pathfinder is a new quote-unquote girlfriend, Rampart jokes about him being jealous and wanting Pathfinder to himself. After that, Mirage says to her, "Don't you go using my already standing in quicksand sexuality issues to confuse me." This has led fans to speculate over Mirage's sexuality, which is still unconfirmed to this day. Naruto reference. For this one, I was talking about the animation that Revde can sometimes do is he's placing his death totem, which he does the hand signs for summoning impure world reincarnation. Wraith also used to have a Naruto run in the game, but it was patched out because it made her too hard to hit compared to the other legends. However, she still does it while she's in the void. Revenant scares dogs. For this one, I'm just referencing the videos on the internet that I've seen too many times of Rev's jump scare in the lobby, freaking dogs out and makes them go nuts. Something about him running towards the camera while he's on the television will make them scared out of their minds. Just watch this. Dr. Reed is Ash. This theory suggests that Dr. Reed, Horizon's former partner, is actually the simulacrum Ash from Titanfall 2. There are many points to help this theory, such as Ash in Season 5 being described by Lifeline as a wee bit Scottish, as well as mentioning Olympus, Horizon's home city. Dr. Reed's full name is also Ashley Reed, and she wields a sword while trying to steal Branthium, but who knows, that might just be a coincidence. With another bit of the iceberg tackled, let's go even further down beneath the surface. I wonder what we'll see there. Well, now we're beneath the surface. Let's get started. Crypto in Season 2. Crypto could be found within Sing Labs on Kings Canyon in Season 2. He seems to be doing some hacking work, and when you find him, he looks back at you and just kind of books it. While there were also other teasers of him, this full model of him in-game is the only time we've seen a feature legend actually rendered in the game before their release. Of course, Crypto would be later revealed to be the legend coming out in Season 3. Fuse a certain C-word. In other versions of Apex Legends across the world, Fuse is allowed to say that one C-word that Australians say a lot stereotypically that I probably can't say on YouTube. However, in the American version of the game, he isn't allowed to say it, which is very sad and heartbreaking. But he can in Scotland and Australia say that's good enough, I guess. Sentinel removed. For a while in Season 6, the Sentinel was removed as there was a bug allowing it to shoot full auto if the reload button was spammed. Leaker Shrugtal states that this bug was tied to a hop-up in the game files, and this theory is even more plausible now as currently in the game, there is a hop-up slot on the Sentinel for a non-existent hop-up. Revenant's real name. Revenant's real name is Caleb Cross. He tells Pathfinder the story on how Caleb Cross died to a man named Bob Woods. Caleb tortured Bob because he found a dead man at work and he told his wife after being told not to tell anyone. Caleb proceeded to kill Bob's wife and kids, which Bob responded by being able to tie up Caleb and throw him into sewer water after going to Gaia to escape him and be protected by their police force. The Ghost of Kings Canyon. When Wattson was 15, after a fight with her father over how to create the ring, she took a walk around Kings Canyon confident that her and her father were the only ones living there at the time being. What she didn't know, however, is that Wraith was there. Wattson saw Wraith appear out of a portal, and Wattson thought she was a ghost of sorts. Wraith would later end up saving her life after Wattson failed an experiment to try and help her dad figure out how to properly create the ring. Pathfinder's creators. In Pathfinder's Quest, Pathfinder finally finds out his creator. Pathfinder's creators are, from left to right, Dr. Conan Shelley, Dr. Anastasia Stay Alviera, Newton Somers, Horizon's son, Professor Millie Delgado, Dr. Aleki Gibraltar, Gibby's grandpa, Dr. Amelie Paquette, Watson's grandmother, Unknown, who is actually Dr. Reed, and Dr. Armand Fletcher. Crypto ARG. Crypto ARG was an alternate reality game to tease Crypto in Season 3. This involved many encoded messages, passcodes, and more. However, I don't really know much about this one, and I wasn't able to find much about it. There are a couple of videos on YouTube, and I highly recommend you watch the Gaming Merchant's video on the ARG if you want to learn more about this. He can explain it much better than I can. Mirage's uncles. In a recent tape from Mirage's mom on the Mirage Voyage, when that was still in the game, Mirage's uncles are confirmed to be Droz and Davis from Titanfall 2. Mirage's mother says that she had a dream where everyone said she was dying except Uncle Droz. She then says how him and Davis always made her laugh. I love how Respawn does a lot of tie-ins with Titanfall, but of course Apex and Titanfall are in the same universe. If you guys want to listen to the tape, here it is.
I had a dream the other night. Everyone kept telling me I'm dying, except Uncle Droz. Miss my brother. And Davis. Oh, they always made me laugh. Like Elliot.
Pork chop recipe. In the Humble Wit loading screen released in Season 3, Mirage lists how to make his family's pork chop recipe, invented by his grandfather Grizz Wit. The recipe in the loading screen was also wrong and later corrected by writer Manny Hagopian. The recipe is as follows. For the glaze, 90 milliliters or 3 ounces of Dijon mustard, 110 milliliters or about 4 ounces of honey, 30 milliliters or about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, a pinch of cinnamon, a pinch of ground cloves, and about 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of hand-squeezed pineapple, but that's optional. For the pork chops, you need just salt and pepper, pinch of cayenne, and sprinkle of brown sugar on both sides, but that's also optional. To cook, you sear the pork chops on both sides, glaze both chops, and bake in the oven at 190 degrees Celsius or 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes, or until cooked at least 63 degrees Celsius or 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Who knows, I might make these someday. They seem good. Well, now we've gone far enough beneath the surface. I think it's time we move on to the underbelly of the iceberg itself. So we finally made it under the iceberg. Let's get started. Pathfinder's original design. In Pathfinder's Quest, the picture of him and his creators when he was just built, his design is somewhat different than he is now. He has some antennae-like features on his head that remind me of D.Va's headset from Overwatch, and his arms are much more wiry. Must have paid someone to do his cable management for him. The first simulacrum. In Pathfinder's Quest, Revenant confirms that he was the first simulacrum ever created. He states that he was the first and only simulacrum created at the time, and it took 20 years to upload his consciousness into his now robotic body after his death. Crypto and Caustic are brothers. In Pathfinder's Quest, while Crypto and Caustic are molding at each other, they eventually come to the topic of Crypto's caretaker, Mystic. Pathfinder says that Caustic's mother was a school teacher who was called Miss Tick. This is further suggested by the fact in Maldera's room we could see a line connecting Caustic to Mystic, so they would be quote-unquote brothers. I'm really interested to see how their relationship plays out after this discovery. Horizon is older than Pathfinder. Horizon is technically 125 years old, as she is 37 but was sucked into a black hole for roughly 88 years, but due to time dilation, she still looks very young and didn't age at all physically. While Horizon was in this black hole, Newton, her son, helped to create Pathfinder, showing that Horizon is technically older than him. Mirage Heirloom Third Secret Animation. There is a secret animation for Mirage's Heirloom that hasn't been discovered yet to this day. Many people theorize that a certain action has to be done in order to trigger the animation, like how you activate third-person mode in the firing range. Whoever's going to be the first to do it is going to get instant internet fame though, I could tell. Unreleased names. For this I mean before Legends came out, they would have changed names. Crypto used to be Talcum, Revenant used to be Blackout, Horizon used to be Downfall, etc. It's just a part of the design process, but I still find it pretty cool and interesting, and not very many people know about this. 3030 Season 6 leaks. In the Season 6 dev stream, the 3030 repeater was leaked, and in the game files it was shown as the Predator. The gun also had a new icon in the game files. Anyway, did you know that the 3030 could open doors by shooting the handle? Since we're on the topic, I may as well show it off. That's it. I just think that's pretty cool. Well, that's it for this tier. It's time to go even further down to the abyss. Welcome to the Abyss. Because this is the last section of the iceberg, I've gathered some of the most, hopefully, obscure facts for you. Anyway, let's get started. Wraith's nickname origin. Wraith is called Wraith for a reason you might not expect. While Pathfinder is talking to Wraith in Pathfinder's Quest, Wraith tells the story of what she thought when she first ended up on King's Canyon. She thought she was Wattson's dad's wife. When confronted by Wattson's father after saving her life after an experiment for the ring got wrong, Wattson's father says, "My daughter thinks you're a ghost, some kind of apparition or wraith-like in her storybooks." Pathfinder then laughs about how she got her name from Wattson's father, basically confirming it. Octane's condom parachute. Writer Tom Cassiano said that Octane's original biography had him jumping off the 4th floor window of his mansion with a parachute made entirely out of condoms that were sewn together, and it worked. I don't know why they didn't include the story in his biography because it seems like something Octane would do, and I thought it was funny. However, it could be due to game ratings boards not seeing it fit for a T-rated game. Okay, hand. Wraith used to have a very rare animation where if she was using her phase ability, she would put up an OK symbol when she got out of it. While this animation was once thought to be removed, it was actually moved to a folder with scrapped animations and the like inside of it. The probability to get this animation was more rare than the probability of you being subscribed to me right now, which is a bit over 50% of my viewers, so if you could drop a sub, that'd mean a lot. Forge and Fuse similarities. Fans have noted a decent amount of similarities between Fuse and Forge. They have similar appearances, especially with the white streak in their hair. While teasing Forge, Maniacopian, a writer for the Apex team, accidentally tweeted Fuse rather than Forge. This happened exactly 1 year before Fuse was released. Fuse's fake out deaths in Good as Gold and Season 8 trailer were references to how Forge died in up close and personal. Maybe the dev team decided to use Forge as an inspiration for Fuse's future development? I don't know, but the similarities seem uncanny. Gibby hates civilians. This was just a joke that I put because in the Season 8 trailer when Fuse's giant boat ship thingy gets hacked and starts blasting all the civilians, Gibby doesn't do shit. He doesn't drop his dome at all. Apparently there's an actual reason for this written by u/MirageMan on Reddit, basically stating that Gibby's shield wouldn't be powerful enough to withstand the ship's cannons for no longer than just a few seconds, causing many more casualties than just scattering away and dispersing would. Scrap beheading animation and Bloodhound Spear. Moipara, an animator for Apex, revealed a finisher for Bloodhound that was a lot more explicit than what the modern finishers for Apex are. The finisher in question is a Bloodhound pulling out a spear and slicing Gibby's head clean off. The tweet says, "Coming from Titanfall 2, an M-rated game, some of the initial finishers for Apex were a lot more explicit. Here's a very early concept I did where we would see our dear Gibby literally get his head ripped off. Ouch." Of course the finisher isn't anywhere in the present game, as it was removed to get that game approved for a T rating from the ESRB. Para also recently posted another concept for a Legend banner card screen, and Bloodhound is spotted with a spear on the right. He says in the tweet that he was really pushing for Bloodhound to have a spear for some reason. Looking how a game changes from concept to reality is really interesting to me, and I love it. Well, that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if there's anything that maybe I didn't research or covered incorrectly, tell me in the comments, and I might just make a part 2. I'm sorry for procrastinating on this video for so long, but I'm glad I had the determination to get it done finally. I'm hopefully gonna upload some more soon as well. Also follow my Twitch, I stream there. I've been growing recently, and any following would be super appreciated. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.